Right. Okay. So second part. Now we already created the table. So in MySQL database, we have username, password, email, city, and telephone and date of birth. Right. Now what we need to do is we need to create a uh, registration form which going to collect this information from the user. Now here we have, I already created a registration form, but this one slightly different from what we have. So now hopefully you have some basic knowledge on HTML. Now in HTML, so this is the start of the form and this is the end of the form, right? So we start a form and we are sending the data using post method, and we are sending this data into a register save PHP. So that second PHP will capture this data and will do all the necessary actions. And then the first thing we want to get is the username. So we create a label called username. Then we want to have input, or we need to have a text box to enter this data. So this input name is type is a text, that means it's a text box, and its ID is a username and name is also a username, right? So we use both to identify this particular text box. Then we create another one for password. Now this one, the type is a password, right? The earlier one you can see the type is text, and this one type is a password, because when the users are typing, we want to make sure they type it's not visible to others, so it will go as asterisk characters. Then here we have one for email, and this type is text, right? So this the ID and everything is a email, right? Then we have one for city, right? So right, so we need to create one for so I'll just copy this about both of these two and create a one for telephone number. So this is for tele, so I'll call as a tele, right? So instead of city, I'll put it as a telephone number or mobile number. And the type is text, and this one's name is tele, and this is also tele, right? Then when everything is finished, you need to create a submit button. So it's called sign in. So it will say sign in and type is submit, and this is the end of the form, right? So this one I will need to save it in the folder we have. So we can go to save as, or even, right? So it should go into my folder. So it's this one. In this one, www. So this is the folder. So select all files. Then you can save this one as register HTML. So because there are no PHP parts, we can save it as a register this one. So I can click on a save button, right? Now I can go to localhost. So localhost, okay, let me maximize this one, then you can see localhost, and the file name is register PHP, sorry, register.html. so I should be able to view that file, right? So you can see username, password, email, city, telephone number is there. So the users can enter the, here I can enter my password, my email address, and my city, and my telephone number, everything, and I can click on sign in. But you can see when you go into the reg save PHP, so reg save PHP is the one, this one over here. So it says it's not found. So we need to work on the second page. Right. So now that, let's see how we can create the reg save PHP. So I already have one here which is created. Now this one mainly we have a lot of PHP code in. Now the first thing what we do is, all the variables coming from a post method over here, all the variables, when you click on a submit button, so it will come into the next page. Then I need to capture these things, and I need to use these values to create a dynamic insert into statement, right? So whatever the things coming from post method, like first, here I don't have first name and last name, but I have, so one called username is there. Then we have okay, let's see what other things missing. We have username, password, email, city, telephone, and yeah, city and telephone. So I should have email is there, city is there, but the telephone is missing, so I need to add that one. So I'm not sure, I think this is the one we give name, tele. So how many there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So here also we should have a telephone, username, 3, 4, 5. This one is not necessary, first name is not there. So this one, so I'll call as a TL for tele, but these naming conventions are not very good. So PHP, you guys probably know, the variables we start with a $sign, like this, right? So we capture all the variables, telephone number, username, password, email, city, everything we captured. Then what we going to do is, we define some other variables, like what is my server name? This is my server name is localhost. My username is not this one, so this, my username for this local server is root. My password is not this one, for this this server is actually the password is blank password. So this is the default password, which is not very good to use this one, but for just for testing purpose, I don't see any harm, right? So I have my server name variable, username, password, and the next one is a database name. So let's see what is my database name. So I can go over here, my database name is HNDDB, so I need to give that one also. So it should be HNDDB, so it should be HNDDB is my database name. Then what you do is then first thing what you do is, so if you're familiar with C, Java language or C++ language, you'll be very easy to understand what's really happening here. There's a try catch block, right? So you can see there's a try and there's a catch, right? So in programming, we use these try catch blocks to do something which can go, things can go wrong. Now here, when the programs try to connect with the database, there could be errors like the database is not available, or the username is not correct, or password is not correct, or invalid syntax in your SQL insert into statement, or so many things can go wrong. So when you have things like that, what you do is we put it everything in a try catch block, Now here the first thing what we try to do is we create a connection object, variable connection, and using this connection object we connect our program into the SQL server. Now here we are giving some parameters: host name, host name is the server name, local host. Database name is the root. Database name is HTTP. Username is this one, password is this one. So we are giving everything into this one, and then we execute, and we here what we do is we execute everything, and then we try to connect into a database. So if there's any issues, so it will trigger errors. For example, if there's a problem with the username and password, then the program not going to execute beyond that level, right? So if these things are working, next task is we're going to create a dynamic insert into statement using the values over here. Now you guys familiar with the insert into statement? Earlier lessons we learned about insert into statement. Now you can see here we have insert into TBL members. So we are entering username, but we don't have first name and last name, so I need to get rid of those two. Okay, so those two is not missing, and we have the email, we have the password, we have one more. What is the one missing here? We have telephone, username, password, email, city. So only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I made a small mistake here. So here the telephone, actually here we have 6. Telephone and date of birth also there, so that one is missing. So let me correct that one in my register page. So I need to have one called date of birth also. So let me have one called date of birth. So I'll just do the copy pasting job, right? So then this one should be DOB, and this one date of birth, right? So type is text, but there are different controls are there, but just use this one time being. Then this one is ID set, this should be DOB, right? So that's it, right? So I should save it. Now here also I need to accommodate that one, so I'll put this one also down somewhere here, and I need to have one more for DOB, date of birth. So here also I'll use the same variable with the capitals, right? So we have username, but username, city, email, password, and I should have. So let's see what is the sequence of things: username, password, email, username. So let's have the same sequence: username, password, comma, email, city, telephone. City and telephone. City is already there. City is simple, and the last one is telephone. telephone, and the sorry, last one is date of birth, DOB. So DOB. Then the username should be, so now here the SQL statement start with double quotes, and then what we do is we're going to create a dynamic SQL statement. Now all these parameters should be enclosed within a single quotation marks, right? Single quotations mark. So here we put a single quote and end this statement with a double quotes and concat. That means we are combining two lines, concat, and we are giving the username. First name is a username variable, then the concatenation, then the double quotes and the single quotes, comma, and so that means the next parameter, then the single quotes and a double quotes and a dot. Then the next one is not fn, it should be next one should comes is the password, so it should be pw, then the next one it should be email, right? So I should follow the same sequence. So here everything is simple. Then the next one should be a city, that sound is correct. Then the telephone number is TL, and the last one is a DOB. Right? So if you want it, you can put a echo statement and run this SQL statement and see whether it's working. Then what you do is this created SQL statement we executed using the connection. Again, whatever the connection we make it into a database, we executed. So if everything is working, we says new record is new record is created successfully. Otherwise, it will prompt the whatever the relevant message. So I should save the both pages. Right. So now if I go into my this page, right, I can refresh, then I can see this date of birth also appearing. So okay, let me put my password is 123, email is this, city is this, right? So click on sign in. Okay, so I forgot to save the second page into correct location. So right, save PHP file. So I should go to save as, then I should find that folder. This PC, this one, then I need to go to WAMP. I think this is the one we created last, and www folder, and here I should save with the all files. I need to make sure I should save the all files. Click save, right? So let me see now this thing is working. So let me refresh, right? So basically it's working. Instead of only problem is I didn't add the correct date format into this one. So you can see the insert into statement is created dynamically here with all the parameters, right? Okay, so okay, right, so next task is we need to create the login form.